Welcome viewers to Wazitotv Cash Flow. On our last episode, we talked about building a sustainable cash flow. And on our topic, we came to understand that skills is the most important thing. It is the most important aspect we need in order for us to build a sustainable cash flow. So on our today's topic, we want to talk about skills that will make us be in business, that will enable us to build a sustainable cash flow. I'm your favorite host, Lawrence Wasiach. On our today's topic, we want to talk about two types of skills. Number one, skills of identifying. And number two, skills of negotiation. Those are the most important skills after your talent, after your passion. We need to learn and to equip ourselves with those two skills. Because number one, skills of negotiation, skills of identifying. If you don't know how to identify, you will always go wrong on your talent. Because we have to identify the prospect. Because here we are talking about you and you as the seller to a buyer. So it is your duty to sell whatever you have to a buyer. And always a buyer is unknown because the buyer has a problem, has an issue to be addressed. And because you are not known to him or her, it is your duty to identify him or her. It is not just an easy thing to identify a potential client. You have to learn, you have to equip yourself with the skills of identifying. So each and every time, your skills will help you to identify where are your potential customers. Will help you to identify where you should render your services and where you should not render your services. Because if you render your services without the skills of identifying, you will end up offering your services where is not required or where you will not gain, because business is all about making profit. So we need the skills of identifying. We have to learn on how to identify customers, how to identify when the market is on the peak. And also don't forget, we have to identify when our time is over. We have to stop. On our second subject is skills of negotiation. After developing the skills of identifying, so you are able to identify your prospect, the second skill or tactics you need is the skills of negotiation. I may say negotiation is something you can be inspired or you can learn how to negotiate. Because you can have already identified a prospect business, but you need to negotiate for it in order for you to cash it. So we may know how to identify, but we lack the skills of negotiation. That does not mean we are successful. So we have to learn how to negotiate for things, because you will find yourself, you will not always have money to buy everyone, because not everyone is on sale. But how can we achieve whatever we want? One way of achieving whatever we want when we don't have that money to buy, because we are looking here for money, we are building here cash flow. So we have to learn the skills of negotiation, whereby you can negotiate between yourself and the other party, or you can negotiate between 2-3 parties or 4 parties. You come to amicable agreement. And in negotiation, it doesn't mean always you have to win. There are 3 ways that negotiation works. Number 1, we can negotiate to reach to a point of agreement, or we compromise, or I win, you lose, or you lose, I win. All is negotiation. So always the best salesmen or sales ladies are good negotiator. If you know how to negotiate well, you will always close a deal. The reason why you are not selling till today is because you're failing on those 2 aspects. You don't know how to identify, or you don't know how to negotiate with your clients. We want to learn a few factors that affect negotiation, that affect identification. Number 1, emotions. You know, we as human beings, we are emotion beings. We are carried by our emotions. So emotions always is the number 1 factor that drives people to buy, to purchase. So for example, especially in this period of politics, you can't come out there selling Valentine clothes or attires. But if you identify this period is for politics, and you came out selling attires that showcase the emotions of people at a particular time, for example of this election, you will sell more and more. So emotions affect negotiation. So you will find yourself, you don't have to negotiate more on that issue, because already the emotion have affected the negotiation. Secondly, physical environment. You may find, you may move to another place, you can identify a certain kind of business, a certain kind of opportunity. But when you move to another location, you find the same business doesn't work on the other location. So you find identification and negotiation are affected by the physical environment. So you have to look before you went out there identifying. You have to equip yourself. You have to learn. You have to do research on the background, the physicality of the place you are going, or the environment you are going to pitch. So will help you to identify the opportunities that which are there, and how to negotiate with those at the ground. Third one is spiritual. You know, we as African, we are more spiritual and more superstitious. So we tend to take everything on spiritual matters. So you can find the way you identify the aspect, or the way you negotiate, can be affected by your spiritual beliefs. Because there are ways you can negotiate. For example, in the case where I have to win and you have to lose, and yet I was the one right and you are the one wrong. Or I'm going to gain more profit and you are going to get less profit. So if there you are a spiritual person, will affect you. So we have to balance our spiritual beliefs coming to matters pertaining to business and building cash flow. How can somebody be a good identifier and be a master of negotiation? We have to be disciplined first. And second, we have to be good listeners. Because by listening, by being a good listener, you will be able to identify the root cause of the pain. And always remember, a good salesperson is the one that is able to identify the root cause, identify the problem, and to solve it. I am your host, Lawrence Wasiaj. Remember to support Wazitotv by commenting, subscribing, and to share on all platforms. Catch us at Wazitotv, YouTube, Wazitotv, Facebook, Wazitotv, Instagram.
Wazitotv, enabling the future